Hello, YouTube. Well, what a few days it's been. Um, I want to share an experience that I had yesterday, um, which ended up resulting in me um, having a type of spiritual experience. And just to keep it brief, but to give you context and to see how it ties into numerology, because this is interesting. So yesterday was the 11th of April, 2026. Which adds up to a 25, which is a 7, 7 being the channel to source truth. And so a really powerful time to maintain a sense of independence and isolation and just focusing energy on the internal world and really processing things that are coming up because the channel is open. And so allowing yourself the time and space to be a receiving channel is very much in resonance under the 7th frequency. And so yesterday evening, I was journaling. Yesterday would be my mother's 67th birthday. She passed away in 2021. And so I was just reflecting on a lot of things. I was just preparing to write and journal in the evening. And I noticed a sensation that sort of just caused me to put my book down, close my eyes, and just essentially surrender to whatever experience is about to happen. And it took me in I had a trip, basically, just sitting right here in the evening, just as I was getting ready to journal, similar time to now, maybe a little later. And it felt as if my higher self essentially was like a puppet master, just helping me in this physical awareness to connect the dots between patterns associated with my mother, how it's reflected in relationships, how it's reflected in myself, and how I want to express myself, and how I choose to show up. And these realizations were very deep for me, and my physical energy started shifting to the point where I started feeling very uneasy. And I was fasting for the whole day. I had some fruit, I believe, in the morning, maybe. But I hadn't eaten anything else for the day, and I really felt content and clean and good about fasting. And so this feeling of uneasiness was the energy moving in my body, in my system, as a result of the experience that I was having. And so eventually I had to force myself downstairs and purge out in the garden. I threw up. And it was very energetic. Not a lot came out because there was not much in my stomach. It was mostly water. But it felt very energetic. And I've sat in ceremonies with plant medicine and I've experienced purges and I love them. They're incredibly releasing. But yesterday I had no plant medicine. I was completely in tune with my day. I was in flow. And yeah, this experience happened and it completely intuitively and within my body, it feels like the course of events that have happened in the last week has opened me up into a new state of embodiment through my actions, but also really doing the work, the internal work of fine-tuning my perspective of myself and of life by being really clear and discerning between the voice of the heart and the voice of the mind. And what this has allowed for me is a lot of clarity and a lot of space within my masculine container to really allow my femininity to flourish. Like my container feels really big now and really safe and really secure for me. And that's the most important thing. And that container continues to expand as I continue to grow in my business, in videography, in making money, in being more expressive and more creative. These are all aligning components to what my vision is. And so, yeah, just to wrap up this short story is I had some sort of portal open up within me where I was able to receive a lot more clarity about myself, and currently in a process of integrating and really moving forward with more clarity. And so I'm very grateful. It did mean through all of that, I guess, intensity of an experience, I only realized at 1 a.m. when I was already asleep, went to sleep pretty soon after I purged. Physically, my energy was really drained. Went to bed, woke up at 1, needing to pee. And only then I realized, oh, I didn't go live on YouTube yesterday. And so I'm not kicking myself up over it. I'm still in that flow, and the momentum that's been created is too strong in order for me to feel shame or guilt about missing a day. The reasons were valid, but here we are. I just wanted to share that experience, and it all happened under the frequency of the 7, which is the prime time to allow yourself to be open to the channel of source. Collectively, we're all able to tap into that. It's how well we manage our own system in order to be a receiver of whatever information wants to come through. And so I'm very grateful that I chose to stay at home and not go to certain gatherings that were taking place. And yeah, I'm really happy with the way things turned out. I found a lot of clarity, a lot of new connections coming in that are offering so much depth and so much learning and so much new scope for expansion, which is really exciting. And so today, being the 12th of April, 2026, we have 26, which simplifies down to an 8. Now, 8 represents transmuting and connecting that connection to the source that was established under the 7 frequency, and really bridging that into the physical, using the wisdom gathered from the 7 frequency and implementing that using power, using the power of 8, the ability to manifest, the ability to create, knowing what are the things that need to be done in the physical, really tapping into the masculine aspects of action taking and strategizing, and using that synergy of the wisdom from source into the application in the physical realm. Very karmic number. And if you imagine 8 being written on a digital clock, you've got 2 boxes above each other, right? Now, to me, those 2 boxes represents, the top one represents the structure, the organization, the foundations of the physical, of the non-physical spiritual realm. And then the box at the bottom, which completes the 8, or the circle too, but it's easier for me to explain in terms of box because it is represented by 4 sides, 4 representing the physical realm structure. And so it's about organizing the non-physical, bringing a level of clarity that our logical mind can piece together in something that's actually functional and of utility, and then implementing that into the physical realm. I think that's a really interesting way to look at it, and it's very representative of how I understand the frequency of 8 to be. The power comes from its connection to source truth. And so for those who have the number 8 in their personal charts, really this is a test of how true you can stay to your heart in order to really exercise the power that is innately within, to connect the divine wisdom into the and use it for his advantage, for good, into the physical realm. The key thing is how much can you really stay connected to the heart and not allow the shadows and limitations of the mind brew up more destructive scenarios. Because 8 being infinity sign, you can picture the infinity sign this way or write 8 this way. It's the same. It's the karmic cycle of what you give comes back around, but often what you give comes back around tenfold. And so it's so crucial to be operating from the heart center and really giving from a place of love and selflessness, not expecting anything in return. And that lack of importance of receiving something in return, the lack of importance is what creates the space for more to come. And so that's the energy of 8. And it's Sunday. Everybody's at the ecstatic dance right now. And I feel called to stay at home, integrate everything that I've been going through, do some more journaling, and really just transmute all this energy into my creative expression, which right now is editing videos. And so tomorrow, being the 13th of April, we have 29. Wait, no, we don't. We have 27. Today's 26. We have the dates of 13th of April adding up to 27, which simplifies down to a 9, end of the cycle. And so I'm actually really glad that this cycle is ending, because as incredible and eye-opening has it been, I'd say it's been pretty exhausting. Not on a physical level. Maybe exhausting is the wrong word. It's been more active, with experiences, connections, opportunities, interactions that have reflected an embodiment that I haven't experienced yet. And it's a result of this high embodiment that I've chosen to step into. But anyway, I think if you follow me on social media, you'll notice that I haven't posted much on Instagram. And that's soon going to change as I'm establishing myself with all the content that I'm creating around numerology and a mind descent in my brand. But there are a lot of things that have happened in this last week alone that are brand new experiences for me. Going to an ecstatic dance on Thursday, helping my brother Andrew with videography work. The way in which we're co-creating together and the vision he has and the vision I have are so in sync that being the person behind the camera, capturing someone else in their authentic spark, and then adding my creativity into a piece of content that is then shared with the rest of the world is such a blessing for me. Like, what a gift that is to be able to offer that as a service to somebody that I admire, to somebody that is in that state of embodiment of authenticity. Those are the types of people I want to be around. Those are the types of people that I want to create with, co-create with. And so really that was like the first moment where I was really embodying a different feeling of what I'm doing and the intention behind why I'm doing it. And with that clarity and that pure intention with the heart, it's just, the magic is just so in sync and so in flow. And so that really kick-started that, this last few days of, wait, has it been, how long has it been? Thursday? No, wait, that was this week. That was just 3 days ago. What? Time? No way, that was this Thursday. 9th. Oh my God, that was just 3 days ago. Feels like it's been a whole week. Holy moly. Sorry, I'm baffled by how time moves sometimes, even though it's... Anyway. Wow, that was only 3 days ago. That was the first step of embodiment that I really felt something shift within me. And then Friday, went to the Mystical Yoga Farm, and I made the commitment to sing a song for the first time with the guitar. And it's a song that I've been practicing. It's, for those of you that have been tuning in, you know what song it is. It's Eternal Light, right? It's the only song that currently I'm able to complete from start to finish. And I must say it was an absolute success. I'm so happy that everyone had an incredible time. And I only know this because of the videos that were sent to me of other people capturing the moment. I was sat right by the fire. Jahendo, who inspired this song and also is the father, is the daddy of the Mystical Yoga Farm. And so I have a lot of gratitude towards him for creating that space for people like myself to present and open up and express themselves. And so when I sang at the fire, I have never entered such a state of flow playing my guitar, even with my best guitar practices, where I feel like the song that I'm learning was flawless, which has only really happened maybe once or twice. But it does not come anywhere near the experience of sitting by the fire, surrounded by a lot of people. There's a whole yoga teacher training course program happening right now at the farm. And so by the time it was my turn to sing, all the yoga students came to the fire and joined in the evening after their day has finished. And so there are about 60 people, 50 to 60 people at the fire this week. And I sang my absolute heart out, and it was beyond what I was imagining, beyond my vision, my visualization of what it would be like to actually sit at the fire playing guitar. It was just completely transcendental. And I have never heard my voice be open like that before. And then I wake up the next day and I'm like literally feeling like my body is completely different. My DNA, there's been some sort of DNA activation. Some huge thing has been released from my field, which was associated to an older version of myself that simply doesn't exist anymore. And so I can keep going. There's a lot more. I don't want to go too much into detail of my personal life right now, but just to share you insights as to the feeling that one can achieve when the attention is focused on the right things towards the work that needs to be done within ourselves. And I'm so grateful for numerology for being such a powerful tool for me to bring me a level of clarity that immediately helps me identify my patterns, my limitations, and shadow aspects of myself, and giving me all the information I essentially need and the knowing within myself to understand, okay, this is what's up. What is it that I need to learn from these things, and how can I transmute this and give these sides of me acceptance and gratitude that they exist. They are not sides of me that I shame or feel guilty about. They're a part of me. It's part of the journey. It's part of my story. And coming to a level of true, genuine acceptance of self, all the good things, all the not so good things that we necessarily we might not like about ourselves, and full acceptance of it all, and just loving myself exactly how I am. And I think this is the least stressed I've ever felt in my life. And it's a very new feeling, I must say. It's really nice, but there's also it's almost like a void that's been created as a result of all the stress that I've been so used to pretty much my whole life, not being there as potently anymore. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't have any stress at all. It's more, it's not that long-term lingering stress that's been dragging on for years and years and years. It's like, no, I've been cutting those ties, and I'm feeling like my vessel is a lot emptier, and I'm not attached to all these aspects that are draining energy from me as much as I used to be. And so that's just really cleared my my field and my container has become therefore more open and spacious. And I noticed that with the type of people that I'm attracting in my life and the conversations that I'm having and the opportunities that are opening, who has been supporting me in the non-physical but in the physical. And I'm just so grateful to be divinely protected and having this opportunity and experience to live such an amazing life. And I also hold pride and security in myself with the knowing that it is in my control and it is in my choice. And so the joy of life, these are the joys that I choose. I'm very intentional and deliberate with what it is that I'm calling in, and it happens very quickly once the intention, the true intention, is pure from the heart, and the importance of the outcome is just removed as much as possible. If the importance is zero, then there's no internal, emotional, energetic when we give importance to things, what it does, it creates an energetic tether to that particular thing, which, if you think about it like a pendulum going back and forth, when you have a particular desire or an outcome, when we give too much importance to it, what it does is that energy that comes from within of importance, it pushes the pendulum in one way. And so the balancing forces of nature, to reverse that and bring it into balance, it creates a negative experience, which actually, one, tests to see if what you really want is what you want, but two, pushes it away because of the nature of the laws of the universe. And so as we drop importance, it's important to have clarity as to what the vision is, but to give it importance of the outcome is going to push it away. And so once that clarity from the heart is there as to what the vision looks like, it's like, okay, let it go. What does the process look like from getting from where I am right now to that desired outcome? What is the growth that I'll experience on a very small step-by-step basis? And to give you a little bit of context, wow, 22 minutes, I'll wrap this up shortly. But to give you a bit of context, it's like, for me right now, I am increasing my masculine container, and that container requires stability, consistency, strong foundations, and finances are a part of that, right? And so in order for my creativity, my femininity to really flourish freely without the pressure of time or any expectations to fit any sort of timeline or guideline, it requires a stable enough container within myself so that I can be in flow. And so priority for me right now is to focus more on my freelancing and my videography for my clients, and allowing the abundance that comes in to give me the space to then dive into everything that I'm doing for my numerology and my own personal brand. And so it's every day, just small incremental steps of action. Doesn't matter how small, you just got to move in the direction of what that desired outcome is. That is the process. Devote yourself in falling in love with the process, because when we look back at things and we look back at all the difficult moments in our lives, we look back, well, I would like to think so for you, and I can say that for myself at the very least, is I look back at the most difficult moments in my life with so much gratitude because of all the things that experience taught me. And so when we're going through a tough time, or when I'm going through a tough time, then I hold on to that and understanding that, okay, this is tough. Like, this is the work that I got to do to make some changes in my life. But I'm going to look back at this period and be very happy of all the difficult moments that presented the opportunity for me to actually learn and grow and be intentional about how I'm growing. So yeah, I think that's enough. 25 minutes. Thank you for listening. If you managed to stay until the end, I'm very grateful for you. A lot of things are shifting within me, and as a result in my external world. And so it's important for me to maintain a sense of groundedness and ensuring I take care of myself, which I am, and resting and really connecting with the physical and not being so connected with the non-physical, which is something I'm starting to be more natural with more and more each day. That channel's been open for a long time, but my sensitivity is definitely increasing. And so I just got to take care of myself and keep showing up as I am. And so I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for tuning in. And wherever you are in the world, I wish you a good evening, a good night, a grand rising. And as always, YouTube, I will see you.